मेरे साथ 3 खास मेहमान हैं। त्रिपाठी जी भी हैं, घोष साहब भी हैं, संपूर्ण कुमार जी भी हैं। समझ जी, आपसे शुरू करना था मेघालय। आपके सीएम ने कई सारे प्रयास किए, शायद यही वजह रही कि इस प्रेस्टीजियस अवार्ड के लिए इन्वाइट किया गया, ऑनर दिया गया। किस प्रकार के प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं पर्यावरण के रक्षण को लेकर, प्रदूषण को लेकर, और जो नया जनरेशन है पानी की कीमत को समझे, उसको लेकर आप प्रश्न।
Thank you. So good evening to all of you. This is a privilege to be with Satya Tripathi ji and my senior Shri Amit Ghosh ji. Today, I just wanted to share the story of Meghalaya. Meghalaya, I think all of you are aware, it's a beautiful state which has almost like a 75% of the state is actually has forest cover. So it's a very, it's a state which has so much biodiversity. At the same time, it also contributing in terms of the carbon removal for the whole planet. So what the state has been doing, because of the very fragile nature of the state, hilly state, which receives the world's highest rainfall. So, and at the same time, it's also a state with indigenous population. So 85% of the population is indigenous population. They're really closely connected with the nature. So we have a lot of responsibility in terms of how actually we can, really protect the environment. At the same time, we also actually create livelihoods, to the people. So what the state has done over the last, I think, 10, years, and so we have been investing in institution building. So when I say institution building, in fact, Meghalaya is a state which has created a Basin Development Authority, Meghalaya Basin Development Authority, which is, I think, which is something that, I would say many states should really look at it, because it's an authority which is bringing a lot of convergence and knowledge around the water, and the environment and the livelihoods put together. So, and this is a authority that actually has been able to really bring a lot of knowledge and also create a lot of knowledge institutions within the state, and created a mechanism to really, bring a lot of innovations in the state. So some of the things actually I would like to say, it is because we created a state capacity through these institutions, we could able to, bring a lot of external aided projects, which actually helped in terms of, building the capacity of the communities, and also bring some innovations like payment to ecosystem services. PES. PES is something that I think you all aware. It's again of where you provide annual, or universal basic income to the communities for protecting the forest. So every year they would get about 15,000 rupees per hectare of the forested land, so that they would not actually destroy the forest. In fact, they would not actually get into this slash and burn cultivation. So that way we are able to provide some kind of enabling policy. At the same time, we also have invested in building a lot of community professionals. We have about 14,000 young people who are actually are nurtured and provided the kind of a knowledge that they can actually, in the villages, they know how to fix the spring water discharge issues, because we develop, in fact we have so many springs. In fact, we depend on the spring waters for water security. And again, how do you actually restore those springs? How do you, so again we are trying to build the systems wide interventions to see that these interventions are really helping us in terms of securing better water security for the people. So we also have, as I said, we brought a water policy. We also have brought again a climate emergency policy. Again, this is a different policies we brought within the state to see that how actually we can secure a better future for the people. So these are few interventions. Again, I will speak, during the course of our discussion. Thank you.
अमित जी, आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, यूपी उत्तर प्रदेश तो हो रहा है, अब हेल्थ को लेकर और खास करके मेडिकल एजुकेशन को लेकर किस प्रकार की पॉलिसी बन रही है स्टेट में, स्पेशली जो नया यूथ है जो मेडिकल से नहीं भी जुड़ा है, लेकिन हेल्थ के बारे में किस प्रकार की प्राइमरी एजुकेशन से लेकर लोगों बच्चों को एजुकेट किया जाए।
यूपी जैसा आप जानते हैं कि पॉपुलेशन के टर्म्स में इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा स्टेट है और हर छठा भारतीय, एवरी सिक्स्थ इंडियन लिव्स इन उत्तर प्रदेश. In fact, if you see, every 42nd human being lives in UP because every seventh person lives in India. So it's a huge population. इतनी बड़ी आबादी के लिए we have really worked very hard to enhance our tertiary medical care, medical education, so to speak. There is today we have 75 districts and there are only a few districts where we do not have a medical college now. Only about 4 districts where this year we plan to bring in medical colleges through PPP. So we have a PPP policy under which we have opened many medical colleges. Government is providing very good incentives. But more than that, I would like to tell you that in the state of Uttar Pradesh, we have in the past 7 years opened 28 new medical colleges. So this is such a blistering pace that today we now are able to offer seats to students from other states. For many decades, students from UP would go out and study in, leading states like Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Maharashtra. But today, students from those states are seeking admission both in undergraduate as well as postgraduate colleges in UP. And we have a very vast network of these colleges. Now, what are we doing to leverage that? I'm happy to tell you that we are working as per the directions of our Honorable Chief Minister to double the seats of emergency and trauma care in the state of UP in the next 3 years. We wish to treble the seats, we wish to treble the beds, I should not have said seats, beds, for cancer care in the next 5 years in the state of UP. So actually in tertiary care, we are really we are really pressing the pedal in the state of UP. Having said that, the second part of your question, आपने ये पूछा कि जो यूथ है और जो बच्चे हैं उनको हम हेल्थ और एजुकेशन से कैसे जोड़ रहे हैं. आई एम हैप्पी टू टेल यू कि in cooperation with the school education department and the secondary education department, हमने उनके करिकुलम हेल्थ के ऊपर कई चैप्टर्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए हैं और जॉइंट कैंपेन वी आर रनिंग इन द स्टेट ऑफ यूपी अक्रॉस स्कूल्स. अभी मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने HPV वैक्सीन को लॉन्च किया है 28 फरवरी को एंड हर स्कूल गोइंग 9 से 14 साल को हम कवर करें. इंडिया की लार्जेस्ट सच गर्ल पॉपुलेशन को हम कवर सर्वाइकल कैंसर इन द लॉन्ग रन. और ये बेस्ट एज है लगाना 9 से, इनफैक्ट 9 से 12 इज़ द बेस्ट एज. वी आर कवरिंग अप टू 40. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से कि स्कूलों तक हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट जा रहा है और स्कूल एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट के साथ वी आर ट्राइंग टू एजुकेट देम एट वेरी यंग. थर्ड थिंग दैट आई वुड लाइक टू से कि हमने एक यूट्यूब चैनल शुरू किया है पिछले 2 साल से. हम उसमें हेल्थ के ऊपर हेल्थ की बात करके हम डालते हैं और हमें यूथ व्यूअरशिप भी मिलती है. तो सोशल मीडिया को भी हम लेवरेज करें. थैंक यू.
त्रिपाठी सर, आपका तो काफ़ी लंबा एक्सपीरियंस भी रहा है फार्मिंग को लेकर भी, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग को लेकर. आपको क्या लग रहा है ये जो 4 सेक्टर नया जनरेशन कितना जुड़ा है और इन बातों को लेकर कितना सिंसियर है?
एक्चुअली नया जनरेशन जो है वो सबसे ज़्यादा जुड़ा है। जो हमारा जनरेशन है, इट हैज़ कम्प्लीटली फेल्ड द टेस्ट ऑफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी। इट इज़ द यंगर जनरेशन which is actually standing up for what is right. They are ready to fight for it, and they are the ones that are putting it back in our head that the earth is not what you inherited from your ancestors, it is what you borrowed from your children. So if you borrowed from your children and you are not, if you borrowed it from your children and you are wasting it, then you are the worst parent that can be, that steals from his own children. So I think that's the, once we understand that, we will be much more responsible in my generation. Now, is there something to be inspired? Is there something to be happy about? Yes, there's a lot happening, especially in India. And I'm glad Meghalaya is here because it's the only state that is replicating it. So in Andhra Pradesh, the political leadership, which is the chief minister, he started something 10 years ago. And it's led by a gentleman called Vijay Kumar, who is a retired IAS officer, the man behind the self-help group movement in India. He was, even then Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister, back in 2001, 2002, when he put him on the job. It was called the Society for Elimination of Rural Poverty, SIR. And so they built the world's largest social cohesion by bringing together 11 million women in 1.1 million self-help groups of 10 women each. Now that social capital, which was built 25 years ago, is now going to transform the state. Andhra Pradesh will become India's first net zero state long before 2070, long before 2050. My guess is they will be net zero by 2035. They have already converted 1.8 million farmers, mostly women, to natural farming, where the emissions are actually negative, not even zero. And their goal is to get to 6 million farmers in the next 3 years. I had the privilege of hosting the Honorable Chief Minister at the World Economic Forum in Davos recently. And so we had a room full of nature leaders from all over the world. They literally had their jaws hanging out. You can't believe what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. So that's the power of the combination of political leadership, forward-looking political leaders, and technical leaders that are grounded with people and that are driven by a cause higher than themselves. So bring it together, you have an explosive combination of morality, of a value system that drives change at the grassroots. So that's something that we as at the Global Alliance are very proud to be a part of. We have supported them for 9 years now. I have a 25% team embedded within that program since 2017. They won the what is considered the Nobel Prize for Humanity last year, the Gulbenkian Prize. This year we have nominated them for the Earthshot Prize, which is the world's top climate prize. They're already shortlisted for that. And also the World Food Planet Prize, which is a €2 million prize for food. So they are already doing things, and 55 countries have sent delegations to visit them. 22 states are working. Of course, Meghalaya is number one because they are really replicating it at scale. And the other thing I would like to mention is that for policy planners, we really have to see the carbon market as something that is going to transform India. If you take the emissions of the European Union, it is exactly the same as that of India. A little bit here and there, depending on seasonal variations. It's roughly about 3.5 billion tons. India is also 3.5 billion tons. more or less the same. The EU ETS, as they call it, the carbon market is called the Emissions Trading Scheme, the ETS, is $1 trillion worth. So imagine if India were to get $1 trillion every year by harnessing the power of its carbon markets. What will that do to farmers at the grassroots and then change everything for the country, for the people? We orchestrated a study by somebody who won the Nobel Prize for Environment, an Indian gentleman called Pavan Sukhdev. He is a Tyler Prize laureate. The Tyler Prize is also known as the Environmental Nobel. Pavan Sukhdev led a study on Andhra Pradesh natural farming, and they found that the farmer incomes have gone up by 49.8%. Yields have gone up by 11%. The fertilizer lobby will tell you, oh, if you don't use fertilizers, you are dead. Everybody will starve. That is not true. Over 8 years, the yields have gone up 11%. Farmer incomes have gone up 50%. Birds and bees are nesting in agricultural fields, which is unheard of. And the global metric for healthy soil is about 70 earthworms per cubic meter. In Andhra Pradesh, where there is natural farming, you will not find a single piece of land where it is under 120. That's what happens when you respect nature, when you work with nature. So I think what Meghalaya is doing is extraordinary, and you'll see the benefits of it very soon. And of course, you mentioned about 15,000 rupees per hectare for payment for ecosystem services. We need to make a lot of song and dance about it, because in the last climate conference, the world came together to launch something called the Tropical Forests Forever facility. What does it do? It gives about $4 per hectare to people to save the forests. Here Meghalaya is already giving $170 per hectare. So these are the kind of shining examples we need to bring to the rest of the world, so that others can learn from it, not in a proud or arrogant way, but in a humble and contributing way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.